is up, guys? How y'all doing? Y'all like that little intro? Damn, my orange is bright. Sorry, y'all. How's everybody doing? I'm very, very tired, but I've been promising for like, I don't know, 3 days to unbox this thing live for people. 4 days maybe. I had it since it came out on the 7th. I didn't even unbox it yet. Because I was going to do it on here for whoever wanted to see it. Y'all hear me all right? I had to adjust some settings to get that little gaming thing going. So, what's up, Jeff? How you doing? Graham, what's up, man? What's up, Rachel? Yo, yo. Alright, guys. I don't want to take too long. It's an unboxing. It'll be fun. They don't take that long. So, I know y'all are used to my super long videos, but I'll unbox it and I'll answer questions to whoever has them, because I know for just from being in the group, there's quite a lot of gamers out there, a lot of people that actually game on Xbox. If you look in the description below this video, I'll just tell y'all now, my Xbox Live Gamertag is there, which is iGameSupreme. And I also have one of those clubs on Xbox where you can make clubs. And it's just called Supreme Builds Gaming. So if you search on the Xbox in the club section and you just type in Supreme Builds Gaming, you'll find the club there. You can join if you want. You got to request to join, we'll let you in, but you could definitely join. I try to keep it, so far it's just people on the Facebook group, but I'll let you guys on YouTube come in too, man. Brian, what's up, Brian? Oh man, damn, everything's bright today. Sorry, I had to be bright because I'm so tired. I just needed something bright to make me feel up a little bit. Need to go to sleep, but I'm gonna do this first. What? That's only that's only Xbox. I don't have a PS4. The Great. Some people were asking me about that, but I'm a straight up Xbox dude. Did the Jets lose, Jeff? I'm not even watching. I wasn't paying attention. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate you too. Thank you for coming in here. What's up, Crims? Alright, guys, let me get to it because I'm going to unbox it. This one came right from Microsoft. I haven't even opened the outside box yet, so I'm going to open it all right now. And I'll show it all to y'all. So, this outside box is not entertaining at all. Like I said, I had this sitting here since the 7th. I'll take out the inside box, which should be much cooler than the outside box. Thundercloud said, "Buy me more." All right. Let's see what we got, guys. What's up, realist? So there it is. It's the Scorpio. Damn, my lights from my face are bright. They beaming on the box. Y'all can see it anyway. That's the box. Sorry about the bright lights. Bottom of the box is rather boring. Side of the box, typical box, other than the front that says Scorpio Edition. Even the back don't say Scorpio Edition. It's just a box, just the Xbox logo. All right. Get my knife over here. Cut open this box right now so we can look inside. Oh man, guess what, guys? There's a box inside the box. Oh snap. Nobody ever saw that coming, right? What's up, Two Cups? Alright, so inside, right? Get this. It's the first piece you get in here. It's got your usual you know, Xbox or electronics for dummies. Plug this into the wall and you know, plug this here, plug this there. We don't need that, right? Then what they give you is a 14-day redeemable trial to Xbox Game Pass in here, so you can get over 100 games like endless play. I think it's $9.99 a month if you wanted to keep that, but most of the games are older. I mean, I just did it when I got it because I got I got it free to check it out. And they give you, is this anything? Yeah, there's a code on it. So this is 14 days of Xbox Live for free also. So you got the 14-day Game Pass and 14-day Xbox Live. That's basically what's in this little sleeve right here. All right. Nothing too crazy, but they kind of give you the full-on Xbox experience if you want to check it out. If you don't have it already. They probably don't let me add it to anything else. Now, let me show you all something real quick. Do this the right way. Sorry, I don't really do that many unboxings. Over here, you got another box, right, on the side. So I'm going to pull this box out from the side first. Because we all know what's in between those styrofoams, which is what everybody really wants to see, right? Oh, I lost a lot of stuff in this box because I took it out upside down. Alright, so inside the box, inside this little box, got Microsoft's HDMI cable. Guys, for those of you guys that game and stuff like that and you don't know, the Xbox One X has an HDMI 2.1 port. It's only on the Xbox One X, and they just designed this cable brand new. So it's technically a HDMI 2.1 compliant cable. So use this cable if you have an Xbox One X. Alright? Don't try to plug it in with a bunch of other cables. Just use that one. It's going to be excellent cable to play with your One X. Let me see. Nothing else in the bottom of that. On the other side, this box has another package on the other side, which is just the power cable. Alright, so it's like the One S. This is the only power cable in it. The power supply is built into the Xbox, so you don't have that big brick on the outside with this. You just get this little cable, plug it right in. So you need the HDMI cable, right? And the power cable. You plug those two in, you're off to the races. That's it. Pretty easy. From my understanding, the ports are exactly the same on the back. You can actually use everything from the Xbox One S if you already have it. Just take out the Xbox, unplug the One S, plug everything right back into the same exact ports. The ports on the back are the same and everything. Now, what's this right here? Because this didn't come in the standard one. This is, I'm assuming, the stand. It sure is. So part of what makes the Scorpio edition different, guys, I know a lot of people were asking me that on the Facebook group, is that it comes with this stand, right? It's just a regular stand, but it allows you to turn the Xbox horizontally and fit it into smaller places. In my desk, which is in front of me and where the camera's coming from, you can't see it. My desk isn't that big. I got a mounted cabinet above the desk, and currently my Xbox One S is up there, and it's vertical, right? So because my space isn't that big, I have my PC vertical, I have my Xbox One S vertical, and I have my headphones, which mount onto like a magnetic base. So those are the three things up there, and my Google Wi-Fi router on top of the cabinet that I mounted on the wall there. So I wanted this to put up there because laying it flat would basically ruin my whole setup on top. So I like the ability. You can buy these separate if you didn't get a Scorpio edition. I think they're like 20 bucks, something like that. But the Scorpio gives it to you for free. So I'm going to put this down for a second on the side. And there is nothing else in the box except for what everybody really wants to see. All right. Oh, hold on. In that other small box, I forgot because it fell out. Controller. It's the second difference in the Scorpio edition. All right. So you got batteries, which everybody likes. And the Project Scorpio controller, which says Project Scorpio right on it. My camera don't want to focus on it. There you go. All right, so otherwise it's exactly the same as every other standard Xbox controller. Doesn't feel any different. Yeah, it's the same. I don't use this controller anyway, but I have it. You know, this little cover for your batteries. Batteries go in the back. But it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember the original Xbox. They had the Day 1 edition, so it actually said Day 1 on the controller too. And this one says Day 1 on that. What I use when I game is this controller right here, which is the Xbox One Elite controller. I like this controller a lot. It has a lot of interchangeable pieces, but I'll get into that at another time. You see the thumbsticks are different lengths depending on the games you play and how you play them. Nah, it's definitely not a PS4 Pro in the box, Roland. I'm with you, Alex. I grew up pretty broke too. I try to get whatever I can when I can, but only things I really like. I don't just buy everything. But I love games. So, all right, so that's that. The last piece in the box. There it is, wrapped up nice. And it's heavy, a lot heavier than the 1S. I got a 1S over there. I'll pick it up and show y'all comparisons in a second. It's small, but it's heavy. All right, let me get the wrapping off. What's up, Paula? What's up, Mike? I didn't even take that 5-hour energy. For those of you guys that don't know or aren't in my Facebook group, for the last 30, now probably about 40 hours, I might have slept a total of an hour, hour and a half, something like that. I've just been doing a bunch of stuff. All right, so I'm taking this bad boy out of here. And there it is. All right. So, what's the difference? It just says Project Scorpio right there. Otherwise, it pretty much looks like the regular Xbox. That's really it. But man, it's heavy. It's got to weigh, I don't know. I should put it on a scale, but I'd say this is at least probably 10 pounds, maybe. It's heavy, man. So the way this Xbox is, if you all haven't seen the 1X at all, it's very similar in look to the 1S at first glance, except the 1S, the disk drive slot is more noticeable and it's up here. On the 1X, it's hidden in this bottom part right here. You got your IR blaster right here, and you got your sync for your controllers here, USB 3.0 port on the front, and on the back, the sides are basically just vents. Actually, one side only is vents. The other side looks pretty closed off because it's probably where you put the stand if you wanted to put it. And on the back, you got all your ports. All right, it's pretty simple. You got your power plug. You got HDMI out to the TV, HDMI in. You got 2 more USB ports. That's IR out for an IR blaster. You got your, what do you call that? Optical audio out and your Ethernet port. And that's it. Pretty standard. Okay. It's basically the same exact thing that's on the 1S. On the back of the 1X, it's just the guts inside of here are way more powerful. And for you guys that don't know, if you guys are gamers and you like to play Xbox, I'm not sure if the PlayStation does the same thing, but this does have HDMI in and out. So you guys all know I use the Shield all the time. I have it on all my TVs, but I also have an Xbox on the TVs. I just plug the Shield into the HDMI in on the Xbox, and then I take the HDMI out, put it in the TV. I only use one I never have to change the source on the TV like that. So I can just hit the one guide button on the Xbox, and it'll take me right to the Shield. So I'll probably do that on the computer setup too, so that you guys can actually see it in action once I set this thing up there. Because right now I don't really have it set up that way. I have to keep unplugging. Like if I want to actually game on this channel, I would have to unplug my Shield's HDMI port from my capture card and plug in the HDMI port from this to the capture card. If I just set it up the way I just said, I'll never have to unplug anything from the capture card. So doing that work ahead of time will save me some time. So the one thing I noticed about this box right away, it doesn't really grab the fingerprints too much. You can see them a slight bit, but it's very matte and it doesn't really grab a lot of fingerprints, which I like because I really don't like fingerprints all over my stuff. They got a little serial number right here, which is cool over there. Sorry, I'm backwards on this thing. That's really it. And on the other side, it says, "Hello from Seattle, Xbox One X," which is in really small letters over here. I mean, I can't really get it up there for y'all. Probably clear enough, but it's right here. So that's the box, guys. You want to see it next to the 1S? I mean, it's not really that different. I have to do some weightlifting to show you all that, but I'll do it because I got to hold them up. I don't really have a proper table to put these things on. So this right here is the 1S. All right, it's got this giant hole in the top which lets out air. If you look, the ports on the back are basically exactly identical to the 1X, same exact port configuration. In the front, like I said, it's different. It's a lot more noticeable, the CD drive slot. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. I think they reversed the sides of the IR blaster receiver and the USB port. So I'm going to put these together right now, just to show y'all. And lift them up. That's a lot of weight together. So as you can see, they're basically the same size and everything. There's not much difference. The One X is not quite as tall. It's a little bit shorter top to bottom. But the width is basically the same, just designed different. And front to back, the One X is a little deeper. It's probably overall, because of the height difference, about, I don't know, 2% smaller than the One S or something like that. Steven, what's up, Steven? You don't want this, man. You talking about PS4 all day, bro. So that's the box, guys. I'm gonna plug it in, not right now, but I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna, you know, it's pretty simple. Like I said, you got the box, you got the controller, batteries that come with the controller, you got your HDMI cable, which, like I said, use this HDMI cable. Microsoft designed that specifically for the One X. And you got your power, and a couple of free 14 days to Xbox Live and free 14 days of Xbox Game Pass. That's all that's in the box. So that's really it. Who's got Xbox questions? Thanks, Tank. And like I said, it does have HDMI in. I don't know if you guys don't really use Xbox too much, but maybe you're getting one for your kids or thinking about it for Christmas. I love doing that. I just plug the Shield right into the back of the Xbox into the HDMI import, then plug the other HDMI out port into the TV. Never have to change the input. I can do everything right from the same input. Now, I don't use batteries on my controller, Roland. I'm just saying it comes with them. Well, actually, I mean, I do. Because, like I said, I use this controller. It's got the rechargeable battery right there. I just mounted on the dock. I don't know if I can get the dock in front of the camera. Well, I can. I got to unplug it. All right, I'll show you the dock I got. It came with this controller. It's just a dock. Slap the controller on there. Charges it. This is the Elite controller. Mike, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, brother. Now I can't plug it back in. Hang on. All right, I got it. There we go. So, I don't know if y'all want to know anything about the Elite controller. I guess I could tell you all a little bit about that too if you want. It's just a really customizable controller. It's built stronger than the other ones, and it has a bunch of, you can take off these, all these pieces. So it's almost, if y'all are familiar with SCUF controllers, things like that, it's similar to that, but Microsoft makes it themselves. And it comes in a nice case. Everything's magnetic, so it just snaps right back in. And I'll show you all the case, which is this case right here that comes in. Inside the case, well, I have my Battlefield controller in the case right now, but inside the case you have more, you got this standard D-pad to replace this one. I like this one when I play fighting games a lot because you can rotate on it much easier. Like, you know, in the fighting games you got to go like that. So this allows you to do the rotations a lot better than the standard one, because you never have to take your finger off, you know. And then these are just different length thumbsticks in here. There's the other D-pad, and what these are the paddles. They're already on the back of the controller right here. So you can click these. You can assign them in the Xbox to go to any buttons you want. So what I do usually is I make this X, Y, A, B, right? Because in the front you have X, Y, A, B, top and bottom. I do the same thing. It's easy for me to remember. And what that allows me to do is I just play, and because I have all the buttons right here where your fingers rest anyway, right? I never have to touch these buttons in the front, so I never have to take my finger off this thumbstick and go over here, which slows you down. Paula, take it easy. Enjoy that pizza. So, I mean, I love this controller. The other thing about it is there's these little green things in the back right here on both sides. These are for your triggers, right? So if you have them up, the trigger, right here, goes all the way down before it presses. But if you're playing a shooter game, you change that and click it to the bottom, and now the same trigger is firing right there. It doesn't go all the way down. So it gives you more speed. You can also adjust your thumbstick sensitivity in the app on Xbox. And in the front, it has a 1 and a 2 slider. You can actually save profiles locally. So like one for shooter, one for racing, whatever you want. I love the Elite controller, man. Now that I have it, I can pick up like this regular controller that came with my Battlefield Xbox One S, and it just doesn't do it for me. I think I'm stuck on Elite controllers. Like, you know, when I go to play and my friends come over, and we're playing multiplayer games, I'm just like, here, you take this, and I'm gonna take this, and I'm just gonna have this unfair advantage. So here, enjoy. Technically, it's fair, right? Microsoft doesn't. They can bring their own Elite controller, I guess, but Microsoft doesn't ban them; they make them. So it doesn't allow for any kind of customizations like crazy rapid fires or anything that actually cheats. But Tank says he used to fuck shit up with the Scuff controller. Yeah, it's very similar to the Scuff, Tank. I had a Scuff once too. You know, you got the paddles in the back. You don't even have to use all those paddles, and you can map them to anything. Like in COD, I notice a lot of people map these paddles, like right here, the top two, to jumping and crouching. Because you know how in COD you want to jump, and then they start shooting while they crouch? So much easier just to be like, you know, aim, jump, crouch, shoot, and you never have to take your hand off this right here. That's it. That's all you're doing. You get used to it, and you're just jumping and shooting. So it's kind of cool. That's it though, guys. I mean, that's the Elite controller that I use. I'm gonna set this up. I'll do some gaming on like you guys see the title here says Supreme Gaming Episode 1, and just the unboxing. I'm not gonna game right now. I gotta set it all up. But I have another one set up on my living room TV already, and that one totally, I mean, it's so much better just graphically. But to explain it to you guys, that anyone that wants to know, right? If you have an Xbox One, the original one, or you have an Xbox One S, this plays all the same exact games. There's no difference. So you can buy that and still play with all your friends that you're already playing with, things like that. The difference is inside. The guts inside of it are so much more powerful that you can game a lot of games in native 4K. And if you got a 4K TV, it'll put games in HDR that have HDR enhancements. They have 4K texture packs that download when they recognize that you have the 1X. So on the 4K TV, it looks amazing. If you have a 1080p TV, it'll still download those 4K textures, and it'll recognize that you have a 1X, and it'll super sample it down so that you still get a better looking game even on a 1080p TV, which is nice. GR asks, what's the specs? It's a custom AMD 8-core Jaguar processor running at 2.3 gigahertz. It's also an AMD GPU, but it has 6 teraflops or 4 teraflops? I forgot. Basically, the specs are pretty good, but I'll look it up right now. I forgot if it's 6 or 4 teraflops. I know it has 12 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, GDDR5 RAM, which definitely kicks ass. Here we go. I think it's 4 teraflops, or was it 6? I can't remember. Tech specs. Well, I go to tech specs and they just giving me a whole bunch of, like, I gotta go all the way to the bottom before I get it. They still want to tell me about it, and where is it? I hit tech specs. Oh, there it is. They did it in graphics. That's all right. It's an 8-core custom AMD CPU clocked to 2.3 gigahertz. Then you got 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 graphic memory, and it's a 6 teraflop GPU, which enables 4K environments and characters, all kinds of stuff like that. And the hard drive is, no, I'm sorry, the memory bandwidth is 326 gigabits a second for faster loading. Oh, I gotta press this plus to see all tech specs. All right. Yeah, it's 6 teraflops, 326 gigabits per second of memory bandwidth. It also uses a vapor chamber for cooling, so it's very quiet. Like I said, I already have one set up. And it has 8 gigabytes flash memory, 1 terabyte internal hard drive, and yeah, the 12 gigabytes of RAM. And it has a 4K UHD Blu-ray drive, so you can get the ultra high definition Blu-rays. It supports HDR10, and it supports AMD FreeSync for you guys that play on PC normally. What that is it automatically checks your refresh rate on your monitors when you plug them in. But so it'll always send it at the same refresh rate your monitor is going at. Therefore, you never get any screen tearing, which is nice. What else? It has Dolby Atmos, DTS 5.1, supports PCM 2.0, 5.1, 7.1. So it's got a lot of sound support. And I actually saw that they have IPTV apps in the Xbox store now. That's crazy, right? You can install stuff that'll let you put in the same kind of setting as like Perfect Player. You can pull in like a guide and channels. I'm gonna try it out. I'll probably do a video with it on here and see how it works. Yeah, I mean that's basically it. So if y'all got any questions about it, I know I could tell y'all it definitely rocks. It's as far as a console, it's definitely the most powerful one. But it's cool because it plays all the games that people that have the older console. It just looks better while you're playing it, but it's basically the same game. They just customize it to put in all these texture packs, and games will have like full 4K resolution. The other thing I noticed with it, like I use HD Home Run for my cable, and before with the 1S, it would just send it out to the TV, and the TV would upscale it to 4K because my TV has an upscale engine for 4K, right? But the 1X actually upscales it for you, and my TV doesn't have to do anything, and it looks better. It's smoother, it's nicer. So I noticed that too. There's definitely some good use case scenarios for it. The only thing I will say that's probably not the greatest about it would be that the HDMI in port that I use the Shield on is only a 1.4B HDMI port, so it can't accept a 4K input signal on that. So even though the Shield can do 4K, it won't allow it to do to come across 4K into if you got it plugged into the Xbox. It'll make it go 1080p. The Xbox will upscale it to 4K. It's a little weird. They probably cut a corner there or something to try to keep it at that $499 price point. But I really don't notice a difference. Honestly, I think because of the fact that it upscales it for you and does a damn good job. Cell's asking me if I'm going on COD World War II soon. Probably not. I think I'll probably do some video gaming tomorrow. Like I said, I've been up for way too long. No, we didn't update the forks, DJ. There's no reason to right now. I still think 17.3 is probably the it's just as stable as any of the others. Maybe when 17.6 comes out, if it has a viable Android included option that makes sense, we might update it then. So yeah, guys, that's the unboxing. A lot of people in the group I asked them if they wanted to see it. They said yes. I hope you all saw it. If you didn't, it'll be up. Y'all can check it out. And Yo-Yo, you got questions for me? Because I know Yo-Yo just won a Xbox herself. She got a 1S that she won from Target's show. Congrats to you, Yo-Yo. If you got some questions, ask away. I got the 1S sitting right here. It's probably the same as the one you got. Y'all all talking about Brady. Any recommendations on a controller, like as an extra controller? It comes with the plain white one, right? Did you get it already? Just get the regular controller. It looks just like this one, right? Except it's white. Anything that looks just like this, you're good with. It'll say it's an Xbox One X controller. It's the standard controller. You can get them in Best Buy. I have a white one somewhere because I got the white box. Where is it? Hang on. It should come with this when you get it if you got the white one, but that's the same. It's the same thing, really. You know, the only difference with this one is it has these little buttons in there. What's up, Roland? Thank you. Appreciate that. So you might want to get another white one, Yo-Yo, just because you got the white one already. It'll look nice. You lay them next to each other. I like the white. I wish they made a 1X in white too. I agree, Tank. Target is a good dude. Target is misunderstood a lot of times, but he's got a really good heart, man. Dude means well. Sorry, Brian. Like I said, I was tired. I needed to be bright. Something to wake me up a little bit. I would definitely just grab one of those. They probably have them on sale. Like I would Best Buy, $40 maybe, something like that for a second controller. The funny thing is, now that I notice it, oh, you know what? That came with the Elite controller. Never mind. The Elite controller gives you a play and charge, like a charge wire. But yeah, I would just grab one more of those because these are the only controllers that can work with it. But if you go to the store now, like Best Buy or whatever, you're not going to find a 360 controller, I don't think. They only have, because they don't sell 360s anymore. Maybe in GameStop you find it, but ask the guy in Best Buy if you want to make sure. But if it's the white controller, it's definitely going to be the the Xbox One controller. If you want an Elite, you could get it, but I mean, they're expensive, and unless you're like, I play games, a lot of shooters pretty competitively. I like to compete, so that's why I got them. But if you're just playing like, you know, Pac-Man or something, you don't really need it. But the Elite controller is definitely dope. Like, just so y'all can see, like, with the different lengths in these sticks, right? This one's a lot taller because this is the one when you aim down sights that you shoot with. Because it's taller, it allows for, I have to put a little bit more pressure to move it. I get more fine-tuned movements when I'm aiming. This one is for your guy to rotate, like your character. So that's faster. Shorter gives you faster response time. You know, so that's the kind of things you can do, but you don't, you know, unless you're going crazy with it like me, you don't need to do it. Graham, it's late for you over there, isn't it? I'm happy you're here, Graham. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, they did stop giving 2 controllers like the old days. It's been a while since I've seen 2 controllers. What's Yo-Yo saying? You don't know me? Pac-Man for life. There you go. I mean, if you get an Elite controller, you might make it one more level on Pac-Man before you die. It's possible. But I don't know if that's worth like $150. Although Best Buy, I think they dropped the price. It's like $130 or $120 now. But Best Buy just had them on sale because the One X that I do have set up on my TV in the living room, they were offering them for 100 flat, I think, or 90 flat on the day that I picked up the One X there. Are we gonna make a Cody 18 fork? I don't know. Cody 18 is not even out yet. It's just an alpha. I'm definitely not forking anything until it's final. That's for sure. But maybe. Might make it. Got to see what Cody 18 looks like. I honestly haven't even installed Cody 18. I got no reason to. I'm still working on 17. And yeah, Cell's right, guys. Like I said, the club, if you're in Xbox Live, right? If you have an Xbox Live account, you'll see on the dashboard where you can find clubs. We have a club called Supreme Builds Gaming. If you just search it, all you gotta do is type in Supreme space BU and it'll pop up. It'll bring the rest of it. I wanted Supreme Gaming, but somebody already took it, and they have like 2 members, but they ain't giving it up. So Supreme Builds Gaming it is. You can just request to join the club. We'll let you in. And basically what happens when you're in the club, this is another thing I like about Xbox Live a lot. You can see what everybody in the club is playing by going there. You can request for squad mates, like if you're trying to fill out a whole 5 or 6 players for Call of Duty, 5 for Rainbow Six. You know, so you'll find people that you sort of know either from YouTube. I started it just on the Facebook group because a lot of those guys interact with each other every day. So I thought it was kind of cool, a cool idea where, you know, people that interact on Facebook, if they happen to be on Xbox Live, it's a little easier to, you know, make friends like that and play with each other online. You know, you probably start interacting a little bit better. So that's kind of where the idea came from it. And also the fact that I'll start doing some gaming on this channel. And when I do that, I like to be able to invite people in to play with me. So people, you guys that are in here in the chat, and you guys in the group as well. And I know a lot of you guys are in both, but some of you guys may not be. You guys will be able to play with me live on YouTube when I play multiplayer games. CellX23, who's in there now, he makes the Cell X2, obviously. I guess you could guess that by his name. He makes that build for us, and in there, I'm always playing online with him. We play a lot of Call of Duty, Rainbow Six. He loves playing Destiny, so you guys that play Destiny, he's looking for squad mates for that all the time. All kinds of other games. Game to start with besides Pac-Man for you, Yo-Yo? You like Pac-Man. I mean, what else do you like? Do you just like games that are arcade-ish like Pac-Man? Do you like car racing games? Role-playing games? Depends what you really like, you know. Open world environments. There's so many games. You like fighting games. Tekken 7 is good. Even though they got a game. What's that other game? They got a game that's free, which is pretty good. Yeah, so we beam a lot too, me and Cell, which is broadcasting on Beam. That's like when I'm not on YouTube Live. I usually just throw the Beam up, but I'm not. You don't really hear me talking too much on Beam or anything like that. Yeah, Tekken 7. I think it's 7. That's on Xbox. And what's that free game, Cell? That's pretty good. The free game that came out when the original Xbox came out, and it's still going. But I mean, you can buy more stuff in it. It's not, but you can start it for free. What's that game called? I can't think of Altered. No, it's not Altered Beast. Yeah, Killer Instinct. There you go. Killer Instinct is that game is free. Also, if you have an Xbox Live account, Yo-Yo, if you get one, it's like $60 for a year. Every month they release something called Games with Gold, which you get like 2 games from the Xbox 360 and 2 games on the Xbox One platform that are free. That you can actually get the whole game, download it, and you keep it forever. As long as you download it during that that month that it's there for, it's free for you. So you may not always like every game that they release, so you may not want them, but they do put a lot of games in there. It's pretty cool. So you can get 4 free games a month doing that. Even if you download, like, let's say that's 4 free games a month times 12, right? That's 48 games a year. If you take, I don't know, 6 of them, you pretty much made the $60 back right there. Oh, Killer Instinct got a 4K upgrade too. Yeah, you need the 1X for that though, guys. The new one that I just showed y'all. Raymond's asking if you can download the old Titanium somewhere. No, it's not available. It's gone. But I'm gonna keep updating Titanium. Obviously, that was a total revamp and redo, and started it basically over from scratch. So the next update will add in a few more add-ons, things like that. You're welcome, Yo-Yo. Cell has 138 free games so far. Oh, one more thing I'll tell you guys. If you do get a 1X, it comes with a 1 terabyte hard drive in it. With 4K games, that's not a lot. So you need a hard drive. I mean, you don't need one if you're not playing a lot of games. Something like this, which, let me try to get it without all the lights. This one's 4 terabytes. It has USB hubs in the front, right? So you can plug it into one of the USB ports in the back, and then you'll end up with the 3 USB ports in the front of the Xbox. Format it as storage for the Xbox, and then you pretty much won't run out of space. They have an 8 terabyte one, but these were just on sale. Best Buy has them. Amazon has them. It was like $109 for a 4 terabyte one, but there was even a bigger sale that just went on too, dropping it below 100. I think it was like $89.99 I just saw, or something like that. And Cell said it's about to go on sale, I think even bigger, from Dell, right? On Black Friday. Same hard drive, the 4 terabyte one. Dell's going to put it in their Black Friday sale. So if you happen to need one for anything, doesn't even have to be for Xbox, Seagate Backup Plus Hub, the one that's the hub is good because it gives you USB ports as well. Have I heard anything more about Kodi coming to Xbox? I haven't. I'm waiting for it. It would be nice because they've been talking about it for so long. It was supposed to be a version that was available for Xbox, but they never, they never released it. Is the new build I was working on close to being completed? No, I stopped doing that to update Titanium. I'm still going to release that build eventually, but I kind of put it on the back burner to do the updates to Titanium. 50% off on all Dell products. That's crazy. Scott says, Patriots Nation, I'm going to look good in the Patriots hat. Okay. I look good in all hats, but, it's cool. And it starts on 11/15. You don't even got to wait till Black Friday. Good information, Cell. So yeah, I mean, that's the box. I'm gonna, show you guys some games on it. I have my capture card will only do 1080, because it's a USB 3.0 capture card. But apparently it doesn't really matter, because the signal will still come in. Like, it's gonna see the 4K signal and just capture it as best as it can. Apparently, it doesn't degrade it that much. I've seen a couple other game gaming YouTubers do it, so that's pretty good. Oh, let me tell you all that because Alex just said a 4K Vizio, right? The Vizio TVs are interesting. A lot of people like Vizios because they have excellent picture quality, they're 4K quality, and the prices are not that expensive. Vizio has interesting HDMI ports though. On most of their TVs, the 4K ones, they have 5 ports. Ports 1 through 4 support HDR, which the Xbox One X does, right? At least on the 2016 and up models. I have a 2015, I don't think it does HDR. But 2016 and 2017 M and P series Vizios both support HDR, so they'll work with the One X well. And they support HDMI. They support 4K resolution. The 5th port is the fastest port. It's a lower bandwidth port. But there's something called input lag, right? Where it's basically calculating the amount of time it takes for your TV to display the signal that's being sent from whatever's coming into it, like the Xbox per se, right? People make this big deal in gaming. And it's true if you're like ultra competitive and you're playing for like $1 million or whatever, $20,000, you're playing a tournament, something like that, I understand, okay? But input lag is measured in milliseconds, okay? I'll take my I have a 2016 Vizio P series. It's a 65-inch, I think, right? HDMI 5 is the fastest port. It has like a 14 or 16 millisecond, or I think it's 14.6 milliseconds of input lag, right? HDMI 1 through 4 has HDR, but it's a wider bandwidth port to allow for that HDR, but the input lag is 43.8 milliseconds or something like that on those ports, right? So, Oh, Geeked Up says the boards suck. I haven't really had that problem. I don't know. I think it's kind of, you know, the way it is. Like my sister, she has a Samsung, which looked great, and her board literally went out actually 1 day before the warranty expired, and she called up and she got a new board. But it was 1 day before the warranty expired. But if you have those kind of issues, I would, you know, if I don't even mind. Like, I'll just pay for the extended warranty from somewhere where I buy it from, and then get a board that way. But I haven't had that problem. I have a Vizio. I've had Vizios since 2012, and the very first 4K TV I ever bought was a Vizio, and I've just kept buying Vizios. I haven't had one die on me yet. So I guess it's, you know, it is what it is. But there's different Vizios. Like, there's different quality Vizios. You have the E series, which is like generally a cheaper one. There's an even cheaper one. There's a D series, but the D series only does 1080p. The E is the first one that does 4K, but it doesn't support HDR. It might in the 2017 versions, but the earlier ones didn't. And it doesn't give you a lot of options for changing what it looks like. The M series is probably the one most people will buy and should buy. Yeah, that's true too. Cell says they stopped actually making the tuner now, but the M series is probably the one most people will buy, and it has basically all the same features in it as the P series software-wise, and supports all the same stuff. Yes, he still has the M70. So he's got an M70. I have a P65, right? So the difference is basically they're very similar in reality. Like, I think the borders on the M's are black, the borders around on the P's are silver. They're like, but the difference is in like the local area backlighting that they use. There's more in the P series, so you get a little more contrast, like certain little things. But in general, they're very similar. The picture is very similar. There's not that much difference between M and P. So if you want to save some money, the M is a pretty cheap 4K TV that works good. But back to input lag, right? Because I forgot about input lag. There, you'll see if you go to YouTubers that do a lot of gaming, especially like first-person shooters, fighting games. They'll constantly talk about, especially if they're doing it on like you know, PCs and things like that. They'll constantly talk about input lag, and they'll say, oh, you need something ridiculous. Computer monitors have lower input lag, like 5 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds. I play on a monitor all the time right here where I am right now because I have an Xbox hooked in here. I play it. I also play it on the TV, which is over here, which y'all can't see. You can see the shadow of the TV in the corner there. But I play on the TV too. We're talking about milliseconds, right? When you're talking milliseconds, yeah, that's true. TCL, somebody just said, has a great from what I understand, the HDR is pretty good too. It's a 605 series they just came out with. I think it's a 55-inch TV. It's like 700, 800 bucks, and it's been reviewed. Very good input lag. I never really used TCL before, but the reviews have been really good for it. But input lag, right? Let me break this down to you guys, because you all know I like to break things down, right? 1,000 milliseconds equals 1 second. Okay, so 1 Mississippi. In that time, that's 1,000 milliseconds. If your TV has a 40 millisecond input lag, that is like less than 1/20th of a second. So what that means is, right, if you're playing like it should be like if it was like a 30 FPS game, which is most of the games on Xbox, they do have like some of the multiplayers in 60 FPS. But if you have a 30 FPS game, I mean, what is that? One frame you might be behind a zero. There's nothing with 0 milliseconds, right? So let's take, they do have a couple of monitors with 1 millisecond response time, but those are ridiculously expensive. I would say what most people have is like a 5 millisecond response time, right? And let's say your TV has a 40 millisecond response time. So your difference is 35 milliseconds. That is 35 out of 1,000 to make a second. The difference between that monitor and that TV. You definitely go to rtings.com, right? It's like ratings without the A. Look up a TV you're interested in. They give you so much information on there if you care about like input lag and things like that. Gary got a Samsung SSD T5. I just got one too. So I've been using the T3s. I'm about to plug a T5 in. I know it's not going to be much different, but they didn't sell the T3s anymore, so I grabbed the T5. Oh yeah, I heard about that. The HDMI one's the only one that does 60 FPS and 4K, right? It does 1080 and 4K. But the fifth port, Barry, should do it shouldn't the fifth port also do 60 FPS and 4K? You just lose HDR? That's how they all were, except for, I don't know, I haven't looked at the 2017 specs, maybe not. No, I got the 500 gigabyte, Gary. I didn't really need the 1 terabyte. I actually wanted the 250, but they didn't have them in the store, so I bought the 500. Yeah, the T5 was on sale, which is why I bought it. 500 I got for, I think, 160, something like that, on sale. Oh, not the 17. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Maybe they cut a couple corners to do it that way. So that's weird. I mean, but honestly, Barry, what I do, just if this helps you at all, and I just had Cell do the same thing, because he has the same thing on his... his other ports do 60 frames per second though on the 2016 version of the same TV, the M series. What I do is I take the optical audio cable. I'm sorry, I take the HDMI from the Xbox and I plug it into my TV, right? The HDMI out. And then I take the optical audio out from the back of the TV and plug that into my soundbar, right? Or into your, whatever you have. If you don't have a soundbar and you have a whole system that's not even a soundbar, you could do that as long as it has an optical audio port. And then you don't need to use the ARC because there's no, you don't have to pass it through in that direction. You still get 5.1 surround sound through the optical audio that way, and it works really good. And then you can use the number 1 port for your 60 frames per second if you need it. If that's the only one you got. Yo, if you want a new TV, from what I read, what I've been reading, that new TCL 605 is amazing. But guys, yeah, definitely, it's rtings.com. That should be like your definitive source if you're looking for TVs. And they have like a best series. Your televisions, right? Here's best, right? So you can do best by size, by resolution, by type, by features, by usage. So I go to by usage, and then I go to HDR gaming, right? And it'll actually tell you, so the LG B7A right now is the winner, but that thing's ridiculously expensive. But it says best mid-range is a Sony, and then best budget 4K HDR gaming TV is the TCL P607. I believe it's a 55-inch TV. And it's got a 14.2 millisecond input lag. That's lower in HDR than most TVs have in SDR, so it's a really good... That's even lower than my Vizio P series on the port that won't do HDR. So the picture overall might not look quite as nice, you know, but it'll look good. It's not bad at all. And let's see the price of it right now on Amazon. It's a really good price for a 55-inch TV. $649.99 right now for a 55-inch TV that does 4K and does HDR10. That's really good. It's got 120 hertz refresh rate. That's what they say. They're all 60 hertz panels, but it's software at 120 hertz. Full array backlighting with 72 dimming zones. The specs are great on it, man. Optical audio out. I mean, if you $650 for a 55-inch 4K TV, and it's a Roku smart TV, so if you can still plug in your Android device. You can have Android and Roku on the same TV. It's not bad either. Yeah, it is that's the Roku's built into it. It says, but I mean, you can navigate through it. Roku's not that bad. I mean, I don't really use them, but it's got some useful stuff in it. It also the remote control actually has a port for headphones, so you can leave the sound off on the TV, plug it into the remote, and listen to the TV through the remote control, which is kind of nice on the same TV. So that's the TCL. If you're looking for a TV for Christmas, guys, or you want to get somebody that you know that loves gaming a TV for Christmas, that would be the one I'd look at right there. Like if you don't want to spend a fortune, that's not cheap anyway. $650 is not something to sneeze at, but considering it's a 55-inch 4K TV with HDR. It's got Dolby Vision HDR too. It's 3 HDMI 2.0 ports with HDCP 2.2. One of the ports has HDMI ARC. It's got optical audio out. It's got everything you really need. So $650 is a great price when you look at it compared to a lot of other TVs. So that's that. But the input lag, what I was trying to say at the end of the day is even 40 milliseconds input lag on a TV, you don't really notice it that much when you're gaming. A lot of people will say you do. It's really not that noticeable. It's like you'll only get that from like really hardcore PC gamers. We'll say something like that. But if you're gaming on an Xbox, right, you're most likely using a wireless remote. That wireless remote gives you a slight bit of delay. You have your data passing, through cables. That gives you a slight delay. You got input lag that gives you another slight delay. It's all what happens with input lag though, right? Is when you'll notice it. Go into if you really want to test your TV out, right? You put on your Xbox or whatever. If you got your PC plugged into a TV, whatever it is, you take out a controller. Use something like a shooting game, right? Hold down the aim, press the trigger repeatedly like this, right? If it's a single shotgun, if your shot fires when you hear you're good. If you click this and then your shot fires after, that's input lag, and that's no good. A lot of TVs also have a game mode. If you're experiencing that click, right, when you push down and you see that it's coming late, check the settings on your TV. See if there's, like on the Vizio, it just says gaming mode. Other ones say game mode, low lag. They'll say lag free. They have different names for it on different TVs. But almost every TV has some kind of gaming mode. Just slap it on the input that you're on. Geeked Up asked what kind of router I'm using. I have Verizon Fios. So if you use their TVs, you're supposed to use their router. I worked around all that, but I'm using the Google Wi-Fi. That's what I like. That's what I use. I used to have Netgear Nighthawks, but I don't. I decided to go Google Wi-Fi and never looked back. I'm a little older. I used to like tinkering a lot. I don't like to tinker. Google Wi-Fi, it's like kind of like the Shield, Everybody buys another box, right? And they got to set it up and they got to do this and that to it and move it all around for, to get it to, change your settings on Kodi, move up your timeouts, do this, do that, to make sure that you get the best result. But with a Shield, you plug it in, it just works. Google Wi-Fi is like that. You plug it in, it just works. It just works as being a big phrase now, right? Target says it just works. I'm telling you guys, it just works. Could you fit 81 games into a 250 gig drive? 81 games on Xbox? Or it depends on the game. I mean, if it's an Xbox One game, probably not. I would say definitely not. 250 gig drive, no. Maybe if it was like, could definitely fit that on Nintendo games. But yeah, Google Wi-Fi is what I use. Geeked up. Oh, my cat is here. Hello, kitty. Oh, Wii games? I'm not sure the size of the Wii games, but you might be able to fit a decent amount of them in there. I got my other cat behind me. What's up, Spartacus? All right, Brian, take it easy. Yeah, Costco and BJ's have good deals on televisions too, Pamela. That's very true. That's where I got my Vizio P series TV. I saw it there. I had the choice to get the same TV Cell has, the M70 or the P65. They were the same price, and I just went with the P65. I was like, the extra 5 inches is not I wanted the P for the extra dimming zones, but that's just what I just decided on. I was like, whatever. I'll grab this P series because I already had an M series from the year before, which I had to get a TV because I had an older 1080p TV in my bedroom and it died. So I said, all right, I could either buy a new TV for the bedroom, or I could buy a new TV for the living room and move my living room TV into the bedroom, which is what I ended up doing. So I put the P series in the living room, and the M series moved to the bedroom from the year before. Where can you get a Google Wi-Fi? They sell them in Best Buy. They sell them on Amazon. It's like these little white pucks. They come in single packs or 3-packs. And basically one of them has to plug in just like any other router would. The other ones, if you get like a 3-pack, you can plug them in different places in your house. They don't need any wires. You just plug them into the wall. They wirelessly connect back to the first one, and you get better Wi-Fi coverage throughout your house if you have like spotty areas. That's another reason I like them so much. Jeff says, now that I got my Xbox One X, I might never add the APK for sports access. No, I'll still add it. I've had that One X since November 7th. I still haven't added the APK. I just never opened it. But anyway, guys, that's basically it. If y'all got any more questions, I don't know. If y'all want me to come on and talk tech with y'all too, I can make a tech time thing. We could talk TVs, other things too, at other times. That's fine. Or we could talk those during Cody, during gaming. All that stuff is relatable to all those things. What's up, man? You're just staring at me. She loves me. You want to say hi? So yeah, I mean, that's the One X unboxed. It's cool. If anybody has more questions about video games, Xbox One X, TVs that are good for gaming, hard drives, whatever, I'll answer them if y'all got any. I'll stick around maybe like 2 more minutes if anybody pops any questions in. If not, I'm gonna go and finally sleep. That's what I'm gonna do. Should I do it? Should I buy it? What, the One X? What do you have now, Roland? Episode on the best Black Friday deals? I might do that. That's a good idea, Alex. Do you need a router? Yeah, I mean, you have to have a router. The router is what basically breaks down how each device gets its internet. It's like the server for all the devices in your home. It adds the addresses, the internal addresses to them. Do I play Madden 18? I haven't played Madden since Madden 15. However, Madden 18 does have 4K and HDR, so I might check that out. It's been a while. I'm probably going to be way out of practice, but I will be playing UFC 3 when that comes out in, I believe, February, that's for sure. No, Google Wi-Fi is your router, Pamela. Do you need a modem? You still need a modem. Like if you have cable internet, you'll need a modem, and then you have your Google Wi-Fi as your router. A Shield game setup in Kodi. I mean, you don't really play the games in Kodi. You need like the emulators for the games. If you have the One, I mean, I have the One S. Do you have a 4K TV that supports HDR, Roland? If you do, then yes, get the X. If you don't, you can wait on it if you want to until you do have one of those. If you have a TV that has 4K, I'd say the One X is definitely worth it. But if you have a TV that has 1080p, it still looks better. But if you had the original Xbox, I'd say without a doubt go buy the One X. But since you have the S, I would only get it if you have the 4K TV. Do you notice a big difference in graphics between Xbox One S? You mean between the One S and the One X if I play a 4K enhanced game? Is that what you mean, Tao? Because if that's so, yes. The 4K enhanced games definitely look better. I play, what is it? The Ghost Recon Wildlands looks beautiful with the 4K enhanced version. Tomb Raider looks amazing with the 4K enhanced version. It's sick on my TV. It looks so good. And Call of Duty has 4K and HDR as well. The new Call of Duty looks really good. I don't notice as much of a difference. I think they haven't put the texture pack update in yet for Call of Duty, but it does come in 4K natively and it has HDR. But I think they're going to add some texture packs to that. It doesn't show up on the list yet either. I think because Sony has an exclusive deal with them, they're not really supposed to have to show it. But this is just the beginning, right? And I already notice a difference. If you play a game that's 4K enhanced, it's definitely better. Even Rainbow Six Siege, which is like my favorite game, period, like my favorite shooter game out. And it's been out for 2 years already. I still play it more than any other shooter game. They didn't even release an update for that yet, right? At all. I don't know if they're going to. They haven't announced it. Yeah, I hope they do, but they haven't announced it. But it plays, regular games actually play better on the One X anyway. It's not something that's going to wow you like graphically, but what it is they load faster. They you know, they're smoother, and you don't see any kind of, I used to see tears every now and again on like the One S in when you're playing 60 frame per second shooters like Call of Duty or Rainbow Six. Don't see the tears anymore at all. Yeah, Cell says no 4K. Well, it is 4K already, but they're supposed to have that texture pack. Yeah, no 4K update for RB6. I know that. They haven't even announced it. They might not do it. I hope they do, because they still plan to support Rainbow Six for at least another 3 years. They said 5 years. You can still play even the games that are 4K, Jeff. You just won't have a 4K version of them. Well, the way the games work, right? Even though you go to the store, if you go to the store now and you pick up Madden 18, on the box it says 4K on it. But that disc you have is not actually giving you everything that you need to play an Xbox One X version. You're going to install the disc, right? And it's going to install, and then it's going to recognize that you have an Xbox One X, and it's going to install extra stuff and download it on top of the disc to give you all the textures for 4K. So it's the same exact game. You just get a different graphical experience if you have the TV for it and the Xbox. Even if you don't have the TV for it, if you have the Xbox One X, it'll still download it and super sample it down to a lower res TV. I don't know about 720p TV, but if you have a 1080p TV, it definitely does it. But everybody plays the same game. So if I bought Madden and we were playing each other and you had a 720p TV, we'd still be able to play the same game. It doesn't matter. Yeah, even the regular one. The original Xbox One, the One S, and the One X are essentially just different versions of the same exact platform. The whole menu, graphical interface is the same. They play the same games. All three of them, same thing. So it's not like if you get this one, you can't play with your friends that have the old one. It all still works. The HDR is really awesome. I really like. I mean, that also depends on your TV. If your TV doesn't have HDR, you won't see it. But HDR is really, at least on the P series. I don't have the M to compare, like the same year. I have the M from the year before, the 2015 one, and it didn't. I don't think it has HDR. I might have 8-bit HDR, but the Xbox One X uses HDR 10, which is 10-bit. So I don't think it'll work on my. I have to plug it in my bedroom and find out, but I don't think it's gonna work with HDR. It'll probably do like Netflix in HDR. That's the other thing. The Xbox One X gives you HDR Netflix too. You like the One S, you can do it in 4K, but it doesn't have HDR for the Netflix app. The Netflix app on the One X has 4K and HDR. The newest update too, at least on the One S and One X, you can now plug webcams into it. So I might actually get a webcam in my living room when I do Mixer, and I might actually do some live streaming on Mixer like late at night, something like that when I'm not on YouTube with all these lights in front of me. But I plan to do a lot of gaming on here. You know, just jump on like at random times and just do it. Probably more late night for those, I would think. Maybe a lot of people like to game late at night. Then I could just talk, you know, about whatever y'all want to talk about while I game. Oh man, my cat is jumping up behind me. Yeah, see, Roland has an LG OLED in HDR. I heard those LG OLED screens are amazing in HDR. The only thing you got to watch out for those OLED screens is they eventually get burning. But the HDR quality is sick on those LG OLEDs. Yeah, Mixer is like Twitch, yo. It's just like Microsoft's own thing. I think Microsoft is the one that does it, because it syncs automatically to your Xbox account very easily. But yeah, I mean, Jeff, whenever you do get around to a new TV, just look for something that has 4K HDR and low input lag. They'll just get cheaper and cheaper. Like that one that I just told y'all, the TCL it's TCL 55P607, right? Right now is $650. Whenever TCL makes the next version of this, you know, that new version is probably going to be this price, and whatever's left of the old version is probably going to drop down to like 500 or something like that at that point. But just for as long as supplies last, so you'd have to jump on it quick, you know, to get that kind of deal. But $650 for a 55-inch 4K TV. I mean, if I had before this TV came out, I had already bought my Vizio. I might have looked at this to see if there's a higher screen size. I haven't seen it. It seems like it's only a 55-incher for some reason. But they probably have a bigger one that I just haven't found it yet. But even when I go to Amazon, it doesn't let me switch the size, so I don't know. You know, so I mean, that's essentially it. Oh yeah, and Mixer lets you run 1080p. That's true, yo-yo. So on Twitch, you basically got 720, and that was it. Even if you had like crazy bandwidth. I have a Netgear Nighthawk router. With the Google Wi-Fi perform better? That all depends. If Lewis, if you have you know, a rather large place, or you have something with a lot of interference in like walls and things like that, pipes in your walls, you know, let's say your router is, you know, take this screen right here, right, and we'll say that this is your whole house from front right here to back right here, okay? If your router is right here in the front and you don't have any signal back here, then Google Wi-Fi is great for you. It'll give you better performance. But if you have your router in the front and you go all the way to the back and your signal's still strong with your Nighthawk, then you probably aren't going to get any like actual better performance out of it if you're just talking Wi-Fi. When it comes to hardwired, they both perform great. I have 1 gigabit per second up and download fiber directly to my house. And with the wire, I get that in both directions using Google Wi-Fi. I got it using the Nighthawks. There was no loss of speed using an Ethernet cable. When it comes to Wi-Fi, the problem is, like, I have 1 gigabit per second, right? Speed coming into my house. You're never going to get that on Wi-Fi, at least not now. Eventually you might. But, you know, take my phone, right? I have the Google Pixel XL2. The chip inside of here, if I do a speed test, maybe I'll get like 400 something megabits per second out of my 1000. And that's because the chip that's in here for the actual Wi-Fi can't do 1000. It just won't. And also the chip that's in the Google Wi-Fi or in the Nighthawks, they don't do that 1000 yet either. I don't even know if there's a chip there probably is a chip that just came out that does 1000. I think I read it somewhere. So maybe in a year or two we'll start seeing those in the routers themselves. And then you'll start seeing them in clients. You need the router and the client to both support that speed in order to get that kind of speed on Wi-Fi. A good modem, Pamela. Who's your ISP? If you have a cable company, I'd say the most and you're running speeds of 300 megabits per second or less, I'd say you're looking for the Aris SB6183. That one works on pretty much every cable company provider. Like I have FiOS, so I don't have a modem. I mean I do, but it's called an ONT box. It's an optical network terminal. So your fiber goes directly into that box, which is down in my basement, and then I have a Cat7 Ethernet cable running from the basement up to my router, which is right up here. So that's all like running up and tacked up along the wall and comes across. So that ONT, it's huge. It's way bigger than a modem. So that's why it's mounted on a wall in the basement so nobody can look at it because it's ugly. But it gives you crazy speed. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, Lewis. It's really about, I wouldn't buy a Google Wi-Fi if you're happy with your Nighthawk with the range. The reason Google Wi-Fi is really cool is if your range is not good. You know, like I have a basement, a first floor, and a second floor here. And my house is not that wide, right? But it's long. So if I'm in the basement all the way in this side of the house and I need Wi-Fi here on the second floor, and my router is basically, I put all the Google Wi-Fi's in the center floor, the first floor, so they go down and up. But the cool thing about Google Wi-Fi is I have 3 of them now. The one that's plugged in directly the way a traditional router would be plugged in, and then I have the other ones, you just plug them in the wall and they connect back and forth and they send the signals across. It works great. Rachel has them too. I can buy more. I can go buy another 3-pack if I wanted to and plug one in the basement, plug one on the second floor. You can spread your signal all over the place. I got like a garage in the backyard. Plug one in back there, send my signal strong to the backyard area, even stronger. So I like the expandability without needing the wires, you know. So it's pretty cool. And you really don't lose speed the same way you do when you get a Wi-Fi extender. So the problem with a Wi-Fi extender is it can only transmit half the speed of your original router, whatever that speed is, because it can only do one thing at a time on the extender. It also sometimes makes a separate network that you have to connect to just for the extender. Google Wi-Fi doesn't do that. Google Wi-Fi uses a portion of the 5 gigahertz bandwidth that it reserves to send your data between them. So it takes that portion, reserves it, and then it allows it to send it back and forth without actually... you lose a tiny bit, not so, I mean, you lose a little bit of speed and a little bit of latency, but very little. It's pretty small. It works really good. The other thing you can do is you don't have to plug them in wirelessly if you happen to have, a room that has, I don't know where I put them right now, but I showed them on another video. Those, I have them somewhere. Hold on, they might be down here. Yeah. These, right? If you have a coaxial cable in, say, your bedroom, let's say, like, we'll take the house example again, right? So here's your house, and man, doing this backwards is hard. And your modem is over here, okay, in the front of the house, and here's the back of your house. And you have a coaxial cable where that maybe a cable box you're not using, but there's a cable that's still there, and it's somehow still plugged back into your network, but you just don't have a cable box in it. You can get one of these Action Tech ECB 6200. You need 2 of them, actually. You need one to go back by your router. But when you plug one into your router, and then basically you plug the coaxial cable in here, it'll pick up internet. And you can put an Ethernet out port on this side, plug it into your device. So you could plug this into, say, your Google Wi-Fi, your puck that's on the other end of the house, and now you have fully wired pucks on both ends of the house. That's actually how I do it. I have one on each end of the house with actual full wired speeds coming to it, and I have one in the center of the house that's running wirelessly. So it's pretty cool. And these are not cheap, but they're not really expensive, like crazy expensive. I think the 2-pack is maybe like $150 for 2 of them. But they work amazing. They really work really well. The original versions, older ones, there's a hardware number on here. See, this one says hardware 2A. They're up to 2C now. You had to upgrade firmware, which seemed kind of daunting, but I actually did it on the 2As, because with the 2As they would disconnect sometimes. So I upgraded firmware to the same one that's on the 2C, and it works flawlessly. I had bought some 2C version ones, the hardware version 2C, and I didn't have to do anything. They were great. But if you have older ones, you may just, and they're not performing well, you may just need to upgrade the firmware. It's not as hard as it sounds. If you go to Action Tech's site, they kind of explain it to you. You could send them a support email or call them, and they'll help you get through it. They're pretty good. But anyway, guys, think that's about it, right? We can talk about all kinds of tech all day. Maybe like once a month I'll do like a anything tech goes, you know? If I have FiOS, you don't have to attach to router. What do you mean? Oh yeah, no, yeah, if you're using, I know what you mean. If you're using the, where is it? I'm gonna, that's a good thing. Let me tell you about that, Peter, because I'm gonna help you out here. I don't know where I put it. Oh, it's right here. Peter, you have this, yeah? So this is a Mocha device, okay? And this is a Mocha device. And that's the network that you create through the coaxial wires for your internet, right? It's called Mocha. So basically, this is a Mocha 2.0 router from Verizon. These are bonded Mocha 2.0 cables, okay? And what that means is this actually has the capability to go twice as fast as this because it bonds two channels together for it. All right, so what I did was I took this out. I got rid of it. You need this to activate cable boxes if you use FiOS's cable boxes. But once they're activated, you can remove this, plug this in its place. Like you would need like Google Wi-Fi or a Nighthawk or something, right? What you do is you plug the coaxial into here instead of your router where the coaxial was, okay? And then you plug the other end of this into your actual router that you bought. And then you take another one of these, plug it into the other coaxial, and now, like I have the 1 gig up and down. When I was using this, even though I was using these, it all had to run back through here, so I never really got higher than like 500 or so. As soon as I put this in, now I get like 800-900. So you get actually more speed if you pull this out of there and use this instead. I don't know if that really helps you. It depends on your speed. Like if your speeds aren't, like if you're not using the gigabit internet, it probably won't matter so much. But these just have a higher bandwidth throughput because they bond two Mocha channels together, where the FiOS router won't bond them. So that's my last bit of tech tidbit today because Peter mentioned it, so it just struck me in my head real quick. I hope that helps you, Peter. If you ever get the gigabit internet, if you're gonna get it, get that Verizon router out of the mix. You'll have to plug it back in. Like I said, yeah, FiOS is definitely better than Comcast, Roland. If anyone that's watching this show right now, if you can get FiOS where you live, get it. All right, it's better than all the regular cable providers because you don't share your bandwidth with anyone. It comes directly to your house. You never have primetime slowdowns, none of that stuff. It's just your speed is your speed all the time. You're welcome, Bro Science Podcast. I'll be adding some more stuff and some more updates too. That was kind of like a total revamp. Started with what the base of what I think everybody needed, and I'll add some more things in. Yeah, you can do that, Peter. Just do you have FiOS cable boxes? Are you using the cable boxes at all, Peter? Because if not, you can just rip it right out. You have no reason to. The only reason you will ever need it again is to activate a cable box. So you might have to plug it back in, activate a cable box, and then you can remove it. But this, because it's Mocha, it's still, like, even if you already have your cable box activated, once you replace this, you're still going to get your guide data. You can still do VOD, all that stuff. You don't need their router for it. You only need it for activation. You'll still get all your guides and everything if you're using their cable box. Oh, no boxes, then yeah, rip it right out, dude. Just get another one of these. You said you already have one, right? Get another one. Plug it in right in the front. If you got yeah, that's what I have. So you plug another one right in place of this, and you double your speed if you have gigabit. Yeah, they might not. I mean, FiOS isn't everywhere. It's pretty small. They're not even rolling it out anymore. A lot of FiOS was bought out by Frontier. They kind of sold it to Frontier, but here in New York, they still have FiOS. Yeah, man. Rip it out of the wall. In all honesty, though, this was probably the absolute best cable company, I mean, Fios is considered cable. They're a fiber company really because they don't do cable. This is the best router I've ever had that was supplied by a cable provider. I really didn't have any problem with it. The Wi-Fi was a little didn't reach that far. That was about it. But the speeds were good. Everything was good. Anything else I ever got from a cable company sucked. Yeah, no problem, Peter. If you have gigabit internet or you plan to upgrade to that gigabit speed, that getting rid of that and putting this in will make a huge difference in your wired speeds. 83 Wii games. Yeah, so if it works, that's cool, man. I didn't know the size of Wii games. I mean, they're not. I figured they weren't that big, but I wasn't sure. Oh, dude, bro, science. You know what happened to me, man? He's talking about the UFC picks. At one point I was like ranked 17th in the world, and then there was an early event somewhere, right? And I thought it was later, and I dropped down to like 48 because I didn't make my picks. I thought I had time to make them, right? I spent all this time, like the last two events, I got from 48 up to like 42, I think, and I was so busy doing all this stuff like that. I haven't even slept in like hardly at all in the last 36 hours, even more now, probably 40 something hours. And I totally forgot to make my picks. I was doing so much stuff. I only made picks for the main card. I'm now 70 something in the world. I went all the way back. So I didn't even get to pick the Dodson fight at all. I totally messed that up. Now I got to try from there and get back. But it's the end of the year. I'm never going to make it now. I kind of screwed myself there. But for next year, I'm just trying to finish first so I can get those free UFC tickets. UFC breakdown. Yeah, I would definitely do that. We do that sometimes. We have a sports lab show. We've done 2 of them so far. So I'm gonna keep doing more of those. I like those. Those are fun. Because we only do them when there's big pay-per-views and everybody gets excited. It kind of crosses over into the Cody community. Because a lot of people are so excited for the big pay-per-view events. Whether they're boxing, UFC, whatever. So it's cool to talk about them. I like doing that. You're welcome, Willie. Thank you for stopping by. I didn't even get to watch the fight, so I don't even know if Dodson won or not. But Marcus says I should leave my cable company provided my modem outside and hope somebody steals it. When was that fight? Which fight, Roland? Oh, the Dodson fight? That was last night. They had a UFC. It wasn't pay-per-view, though. It was just a UFC, regular UFC card. Yeah, I mean, I did see most of the last 5 fights. I fell asleep for about 30 minutes and missed the main event, though, the Pettis fight. But I caught it in the morning. I had to wait for them to air it again because I didn't record it or anything. Oh, the Dodson fight? Yeah, that was last night, too. On the prelims. Thank you, Ray. All right, guys. I'm finally going to go to sleep. It's been fun. We can talk about this stuff all day. I think I'm just going to start jumping on and stuff. When is the Dillashaw fight? Dillashaw just fought. Dillashaw just beat Garbrandt for the title. What would I recommend for another router? Because I'm ripping out that Fios router this week. I use Google Wi-Fi. I love it, man. But if you know, I recommend Netgear Nighthawks or Google Wi-Fi. UFC 127. That was a long time ago. November 4th. Oh, that was the pay-per-view, yeah. You're welcome, guys. All right. Stay supreme, everybody. I'll be back. Don't worry. There'll be like crazy new backgrounds popping up back there in the future. I'm tired. I got to set up all kinds of equipment to do that. So we'll do it, though. We'll be back. You guys have a great night. I'm going to catch some Z's. Hope you all enjoyed the unboxing and whatever we discussed with TVs, internet. See, I like this crowd. You know that? Because you guys can talk about all kinds of things. So it's nice to chat about all kinds of different stuff. All right, guys. Take care. Good night. Stay supreme, everybody. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.